Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Edwin, the Pretty Green Vinyl Guy, and today I wanted to share with you 3 great sounding jazz records that I've recently acquired. 2 of them are a little more unique, as in they've just had become more available, and one's a first time ever release, and the other is a classic. So let's start with the classic. Everyone knows this album. This is, of course, Time Out by the Dave Brubeck Quartet. Probably one of the most famous jazz albums of all time. I think it is the best-selling. It also cracked the top 30 in the pop charts, so it's probably one of the few jazz records to do that. This is a music on vinyl release that came out in 2010, and I know that the analog production 45 RPM is the sought-after version of this, but you can't get it anymore, and if you can, you're paying top dollar. And so this is listed as a very good quality sounding affordable version, and according to the Music on Vinyl website, they don't record from digital, so they would have acquired a copy of the analog tapes, probably not probably the analog tapes. So it's not going to be the same as the aforementioned high superior one, but for affordability and just a really nice clean sounding version of this, I highly recommend it. That being said, I think these are becoming difficult to find. So it's on this orange Columbia label. It is pressed in Germany. And is that right? Yes, made in the EU. In Germany, yes. And yeah, if you don't know this record, it's a great foray into easy listening jazz. So yeah, Dave Brubeck Quartet, Time Out, on the Music on Vinyl label. The second one I want to show you is Herbie Hancock. This is Inventions and Dimensions. This was Herbie Hancock's 3rd album on Blue Note. I believe it came out in 1963 or 4. I think it says 63 on the Blue Note website, but on here it says something about 64. Anyway, somewhere in there. This is a lovely album. And again, this, beside the original, it did have a re-release in the 70s. I believe it was called Succotash, and it was actually, it actually wasn't just a Herbie Hancock album. I believe it was listed as a Herbie Hancock Willie Bobo album. And then this was brought out for part of the Blue Note 80 series, which is celebrating the 80th year of Blue Note Records, the famous jazz label from New York that was started in 1939. So this was a very sought after, to get an original of this, again, would have cost you a fortune, so very thankful that Blue Note has decided to release classic albums like this. This is cut from the analog tapes by Kevin Gray, did the mastering. And it's very similar to the Tome Poet series, except the jackets aren't as opulent, let's say. It is on that classic Blue Note label, and this has a real Latin jazz kind of feel to it. It's actually a quartet, even though on the front you only have, you have all 4. You have Paul Chambers, of course, playing the bass. You have Willie Bobo playing the drums, and you have Osvaldo Martinez, I can't say his middle name, playing the conga and the bonga, and the bongos. The bongo. This is a great sounding album. Again, very easy to listen to if you're new to jazz, if you don't know a lot about jazz. Like me, I'm discovering more and more and more. And this is a great album. Herbie Hancock, to me, like, I've been recommended many of his albums, and some of them I'm like, okay, I don't really understand, right? Because you don't always understand jazz. But this one is delectable. It's so easy to enjoy, and very good album. And it sounds amazing. And then the last one I want to show you was, I know this was quite sought after for Record Store Day, the drop 2 that just went by. This is Bill Evans, Some Other Time. This is a lost studio session that was recorded in the Black Forest with Eddie Gomez and Jack DeJohnette. This was a numbered series for Record Store Day. This album was recorded in June of 68, June 20th, 1968. I was born in 68, so we therefore can deduce it's 52 years old. And apparently this was a chance meeting at an event in Germany where the son of the original sound engineer mentioned to somebody that he had these tapes, these recordings, from this one-off recording session that the trio did in Germany. I believe they were coming from the Montreux Jazz Festival, and they were heading to London for a month-long booking at Ronnie Scott's famous jazz club. And I'm learning this from the great book that comes inside, which has a little overview of the album, and then it has an interview with Eddie Gomez and an interview with Jack DeJohnette where they reminisce about how this came about. And the songs, there's some Evans originals, and there's many of the covers that he made famous, like My Funny Valentine, Some Other Time, the Leonard Bernstein, You're Gonna Hear From Me by Andre Previn, and some of these are recorded as a trio, some are recorded as a duo, and some are recorded solo, just Bill Evans by himself. It's a beautiful sounding album, and this was done for the Record Store Day. This is again cut and mastered by Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio, 180 grams. Recorded in the Black Forest 5 days after their show at the Montreux Jazz Festival. And this is on Resonance Records, which I believe I might have an Eric Dolphy one from a few Record Store Days a few years ago that was on that label, and they sound amazing. So yeah, if you were lucky enough to grab this, or if you can still find it online, I would highly recommend it. It's very, very good. And yeah, I think they're just 3 wonderful jazz albums that, you know, all sound fabulous. And yeah, enjoy your weekend, guys.